I'm pretty certain that some of you watching this video wouldn't mind living along the iconic Amalfi Coast. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. Why wouldn't you want to? I have spoken about the reality of living along the Amalfi Coast in many a video on my YouTube channel, but something that I've never done is actually take you to an Amalfi coastal town off season and show you what it really looks and feels like once the tourists have gone home. So today, as we are in the middle of Christmas and New Year, I'm taking you to Maori, which is one of the Amalfi coastal towns, and as such, we'll show you exactly what it feels like to live there when it is less busy. But part of our experience means that we have to take the iconic Amalfi Drive. And as you can see, it's a bit hairy because you share this road with buses, trucks, cars, cyclists, moped riders, motorcyclists, not to mention pedestrians at points. And if you plan to live along the Amalfi Coast, this is the first reality check that I'm going to give you, in the sense that this will be one of your main routes in and out of the Amalfi Coast itself. There are other ways that you can access the different Amalfi coastal towns, but equally, a lot of the roads look a little bit like this. Not to mention the fact that if you plan to use any other form of transport, the only Amalfi coastal town that actually has a train station is Vietri Salmare. The other Amalfi coastal towns are dependent on bus and boat services. Boat services don't operate year round. There are moments of closure. Also consider that you may have to have your own form of transport if you truly want to be independent. It's just not an easy place to live. And I think these are the little things that people often forget when they see the beauty of this kind of place. Holidaying here is one thing, but living is something entirely different. Often think that living somewhere really picturesque and beautiful like the Amalfi Coast is the dream. But I'm here now on the Saturday between Christmas and New Year, and Maori, which is one of the Amalfi coastal towns, looks extremely different compared to how it looks at the height of summer. And I think this is the big consideration that you've got to think about. Now, it's a glorious day today, so of course when the sun is shining, everything looks fantastic. However, living here when it gets very, very quiet and bleak, and I'm specifically thinking about the months of January and February, is definitely something you've got to consider, because it's very different compared to how it feels in the summer, and it may not be exactly what you're looking for. Maori is full of hotels, most of which remain shuttered at this time of year, so that definitely has an impact on the community, I would suggest. This is the main shopping precinct in Maori, and this was 10:30 in the morning. There was hardly anyone around, and given the time of the year and the fact that people were most probably relaxing, it didn't actually start getting busy until closer to lunch. Compare this though to the summer months, and this place would be absolutely heaving with tourists at this time. Another realistic, important consideration is that a lot of the Amalfi coastal towns are extremely hilly, and so you really do need to have good mobility to live here comfortably. There's no denying it. Maori is absolutely beautiful, and I actually think that it has a little bit more life compared to the other Amalfi coastal towns. Like, definitely a few more everyday shops than I've seen in like Amalfi or Positano, for example.
Oh my God, I have to stop, these stairs are killing me. But essentially, it's not enough, I think, if you want to have a varied life. Like, you can get by, there's fishmongers, butchers, little supermarkets, you know, like jewellers and bars and restaurants, but no big supermarkets here and no train station here. And these are the things that you've really got to think about, because it's super beautiful here, absolutely, but I think after a while, when the novelty's worn off, you might be left feeling like you want something a little bit more out of your everyday life, you know?
Talking about shops, the restaurants and bars, essentially, a lot of them will stay closed during this time. They take long vacations from November, often until the end of March, whilst they wait for the busy tourist season to begin. And so I think this does impact the way that a town feels during the low season. And so there you have it. This is what an Amalfi coastal town looks and feels like during off-season. For many locals, this is actually their favourite moment, because they actually get to discover the beauty of their town once more without the invasion of hundreds of tourists. However, even though the beauty doesn't fade, the energy and vibrancy of this town does. And so I think this is an important consideration if you're still tempted to live along the Amalfi Coast. You need to come and visit in the months of January, in the months of November, typically when there are less tourists to no tourists, and decide then if it's still a place for you.